What's going on YouTube? It's Coffee tapping back in, and some time has passed now. A lot of reactions have been out to the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. Hit the comments and let me know what you thought of it. Many people have been speaking about Mike Tyson's legacy and if it was a good move or bad move for Mike to take the fight, etc. and commented from that aspect. But someone out of the world of boxing just went in and says it goes even further and deeper than Mike and affects just the sport on a whole nother level.
Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul was by its nature a horrible fight right from the start. It was just awful. Mike almost fell down during his walkout. And he was on quicksand since the first 10 seconds of the fight. Oh, and did you see that 58-year-old ass? It was wishful thinking for all those idiots who thought they were going to get Mike Tyson of the 90s come out and rip somebody's head off. Now, everyone is talking about how staged this fight was. I do believe it was scripted, and I believe that Tyson was certainly held back. Look, I'm a fighter, and I can see it. It goes on the record, and it was sanctioned. So Jake Paul paid to get the W on his record? For what? For your own personal satisfaction? I keep telling you, if you want to be a real fighter, like you say you want to be, what are you doing?
Shit, I don't even know.
Like, who's next? Joe Biden? You have to fight real fighters.
God, please, no!
However, the fight drew 65 million households, which means roughly 200 million eyeballs were watching. And the huge winners were Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, who put on an incredible real fight and were introduced to new fans around the world. Boxing has been in hibernation. It's like a sleeping bear. Boxing has been the most popular sport since the beginning of time. Lately, it's been Mayweather versus McGregor, who fought in the ring, not the octagon, because boxing is king. But we have to get our shit together. Fighters are not daring to be great, and we are stuck accepting mediocre fights.
Come on, man.
Look, being a fighter and now a promoter, knowing the ins and outs because I'm in it, I have to say it's the fighters who are killing the sport. People try to blame the promoters or the managers, the trainers. No, it's the fighters. I was one, and I can tell you that if my camp urged me to fight someone, and I wanted to fight somebody else, we were going to fight who I wanted to fight. The fighters today don't think they're getting paid enough, or they're scared of taking an L. For example, back in the day, Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward weren't the most popular fighters and weren't getting paid the most during their time, but we respect them today because they fought their hearts out and came back for another day. The UFC fighters, they get paid peanuts and they go out on their shields. They fight like motherfuckers. But in boxing, we know the outcome of the big fights these days before the fight even starts. Look at the Canelo fight. Edgar Berlanga went on a month-long victory celebration because he lasted 12 rounds. He fucking lost, acted like it was a good thing. Get some help. This is where we're at because it comes from the top. Look at the 90s. You had Prime Tyson, Chavez, myself, Trinidad. We were warriors. We fought everyone. We created sexy mega fights that everyone looked forward to watching. We were like the 90s supermodel with the beautiful legs and tight athletic bodies. We were like Kate Moss. In the 2000s, boxing had Mayweather, and it became boring and defensive for a decade, just like Paris Hilton in the early 2000s. And most recently, we have Canelo, who is the most boring but most popular boxer today. Just like Kim Kardashian, who everyone wants to be like. She has no personality, yet makes tons of money. So essentially, Canelo is the king of the fattest, sloppiest, nastiest BBL era. Everything is cyclical in life and fashion, so here's to hoping we go back to the warriors of the 90s, those tight aerobic booties. And Canelo, fuck you. Remember, kids, you're never a hater when you only speak the facts.
All right, y'all. So you guys heard De La Hoya there just ripping the fight to shreds. And basically saying, like I said in the beginning, I heard a lot of people commenting about Mike Tyson and his legacy and what the fight did in regards to all that. But you heard him, he's saying that this is actually damaging to the sport, that it's, what do you say, a hibernating bear, and more or less just felt like he's saying things could just be doomed for the sport of boxing. Everyone out there, let me know your thoughts. I've been hearing people speak about Joe Rogan. Comment if y'all heard about this, where he was saying something about the contract to the fight. More or less something along the lines of what you heard De La Hoya saying about the fight being scripted, that it was a sanctioned fight and counts as a win-loss on individuals' records, right? But it was scripted, essentially. You know that. I don't know if y'all heard it. Comment if y'all know what I'm talking about, if you guys heard about that. Like that, you know, Mike could only knock him out in certain rounds or something like that. I don't know, some old bull-ish or whatever. And, you know, at the end of the day, I feel like Mike had to do this for the money. And I don't know, man, it's just crazy. Like, I'm a fan of pro wrestling, right? I'm a fan of WWE. That's something that a lot of people will pick at or whatever. I don't know. Some people flirt with wrestling, some don't. But I also love watching competitive sports, football, basketball, whatever, right? And they're just two different things, and they should never be mixed at all by any means. You know what I mean? And if that is indeed what it was and what it is, and to me, it definitely seemed like it. You know, I thought the fight was going to be more or less an exhibition, but it seems it was even more than that, you know, that it was just a big money play. And I don't know, at the end of the day, that's just lame as fuck, you know? Like, what are we talking about? All sports are business, and money, the bottom line, affects things in different ways, right? But when things flat out just change a sport and you get away from the competitive edge of it, or, you know, the competitive a fight, a game, whatever it is, whether it's football, boxing, whatever, you know what I'm saying? When it just comes to the point that money totally flips the script, and the competition that is what the sport is all about is out the window. And, you know, that's pretty lame, I believe, you know? I'm no boxing expert or anything like that. I used to watch more back in the day, the 90s-ish, like that, some of the fighters that De La Hoya was speaking of and whatnot, you know? But I really like to hear from everyone in the comments who really is into boxing, who watched the fight, what you guys think about it all and what De La Hoya was saying. You know, is Jake Paul fucking ish up? And do you believe that the fight was scripted? And, you know, does this threaten boxing on that level? And if you do believe all that to be true, do you believe what he was saying about blame the fighters? So in this sense, blame Mike, you know, that Mike agreed to this bull-ish, and it's fucking up the very sport that he came up being someone who made history in boxing. Like, you know, is he turning around and fucking things up? Do you believe that to be true? And, you know, what he was saying about UFC fighters making peanuts compared to boxers and all that. You know, what is your guys' thoughts about it all? Like I said in the beginning, I heard a lot of people speak about, you know, Mike Tyson's legacy and how this hurts it, or they don't feel it hurt it, or whatever the case may be, that he went the distance with someone way younger than him and all that, and he ain't even been in fighting, you know what I'm saying? He's been away from the ring. I heard a lot of people react from that aspect, like I was saying in the beginning, but I don't know, De La Hoya just went even deeper. Like I said, you know, he said it was a horrible fight, scripted, and I don't know, I didn't know he had this segment as well, this Clapback Thursdays. What do y'all think about it all? Hit the comments, sub up. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.